This is Chloe Laman, August 9, 2007. I wanted to answer some questions here that I got from YouTube. How do people get heavy metal poisoning? Well, I will go over that at large, and I'm going to start by how I got it myself. Well, it's a matter of fact, I don't really know. I can only speculate how I got heavy metal poisoning. After the doctors told me, hey, you have a very high level of aluminum in your blood and your urine, very high level of mercury in your blood and your urine, a significant level of lead, some trace of arsenic, and some other heavy metals that I don't even remember the name. They are not as common and they are not as toxic as the first three: lead, mercury, and aluminum. Now, how did I get them? Well, I will speculate about that. I was a big fish eater, so it's supposedly one contaminated fish, and that's it. You can have serious symptoms of mercury poisoning. Lead pipes. If you grew up or are living in a very nice cottage for vacation, or maybe you own one, or maybe one of your family member has one, and that has still some lead pipes in them, you can easily get contaminated with lead poisoning. For the aluminum, if you go with food, if you drink out of soda can or out of a conserve, those are made of aluminum cans. On top of that, if you cook with a non-sticky pan with some special covering such as Tefal, just to name the most popular one, but most non-sticky pan are actually covered with aluminum. So once they get old, or once they get scraped by the fork or any kind of utensils, they actually contaminate the food that has been cooked with them. Now, to give you an example, now I only cook with stainless steel because that's a safe way. Steel is not a heavy metal. It's a metal, period, and it's not toxic. I would recommend when you use Tefal, just make sure it's a brand new pan and you only use like wood with it or plastic wares. Some very interesting metal poisoning you can get is like medication. Now, a lot of medication are made with heavy metals. Now, the manufacturer of that medication will tell you, well, it's not as toxic because we prepare it in a certain way. And for example, I just read in the news that they are going to create a medication, I believe, for Alzheimer using arsenic. Now, arsenic is a heavy metal and it's extremely toxic. But the manufacturer came up with the idea, and it's probably justified, that it's organic arsenic, so from there it's safe. Fair enough. I think I prefer to not remember anything than just to have to live with movement disorders again. If you're not familiar with the effects, I made some. So a friend of mine actually made some videos of some symptoms I was experiencing when I was sick, and you can find them on YouTube as well. So to keep on track, what else is a contaminant? I went over the medications. Also, when you were a baby, some shots that you were given as a baby to protect your health were actually made out of mercury. You probably heard of mercurochrome, this children antiseptic that was a red color at the time, and it probably is still now. And I think mercurochrome might still exist. They actually removed the mercury out of it. It stings less, but I don't know how much effective more it is. But anyway, it was a good move. Thank you for removing this poison out of our medications for children. Now, where else can you get poison? Well, if you're a high-tech guy, or even if you just own a computer, and you probably do, or else you are watching YouTube at a friend. Well, if your computer starts smoking one of those days, well, stay away, ventilate, don't go near it. Don't go, oh my God, what happened to my computer? That's it, you're infected. Yes, stay away from the fumes. The fumes will contain aluminum, mercury, arsenic, you name it. It's a lot more compound than even in cigarettes. All kind of computers are designed to work, not to smoke. So when they fry, only touch them if you have to open them, or if you try to figure them out with gloves, plastic gloves, and also put a mask over your head. And I'm not kidding. And the best way would actually, if you will go out, except if it's snowing and it's a blizzard. But that's really the way to go. It's extremely toxic. Really ventilate everything, and good luck. Now, I talked about computers because it's obvious when they smoke, but now you have all kind of smaller devices, cell phones, digital cameras, you name it, VCRs, DVDs, you name it, in your car, everywhere, fuses blowing, everything. So when something stops functioning, don't take it apart and don't take a look if it's a battery that leaked. Oh, thanks God, it's just a battery that leaked. Well, no, the batteries are also extremely toxic. Even the battery that's a mercury free, if you really read in between the line, it will tell you that there is mercury in them. Yes, I know. How are they going to call the really mercury-free batteries? Maybe in some days. Now the button batteries are even more toxic. Of course, in the old ages, thermometers were made out of mercury, so if you still have one of those at home and it breaks, well, make sure that the mercury is not being touched, neither by animals, children, or anyone, and that it's being put away safely. And it doesn't mean to put it in a trash can so someone else is going to get it. You just go and recycle it the proper way, which I don't know what it is, to tell you the truth. But I would just take it to the pharmacist. Now, some other ways to get contaminated is contaminated water. Unfortunately, if you go swim in a lake, or maybe also artificial lakes or rivers, what used to happen is that hunters were using in the past a lot of lead cartridges, and so that's how the fish got contaminated in the first place. They would swallow those little tiny bullets contained in cartridges, and thinking it's plankton or something that is going to be good for them, and so of course they will get sick out of the lead, and they will be easier to catch, and so they will easily end up in a plate. And that's how you can. It's like a cycle. It's like an evolution cycle. How toxic fish get actually caught faster and easily, and they end up in the plate more than likely. If you go with farm fish like farm salmon, even worse. For some reason, the water they use is actually most of the time is contaminated water. So if you really love fish, stay away from river fish. Stay away from farm fish. If you really have to eat fish, you eat something coming out of the ocean, like something is really caught at large. Also, if you have an older car, or if you used to drive an older car, I'm looking at the time here, there were some R12 air conditioning, R12 that used to leak and that is now illegal. It has been replaced by R134, but R12 was extremely toxic, containing all kind of heavy metal. So if your AC leaked while you were driving this kind of car, if your car still has it, have it replaced safely, very safely. Well, thank you for listening. That's the end of our program. I hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks, bye.